Cheers. Good morning. What's happening? Happy day 50 to me. Proud of myself. I'm gonna chill for a bit. I don't have to go to the gym till 11. I'm pretty sleepy. Still have a little bit of a therapy hangover, we'll call it. So I'm gonna do some reading. Book Sapiens, which is actually very interesting so far. I feel like the first sentence was a very simple concept, very simple science that I did not know. I probably learned it in like grade 10, but was busy disassociating from anxiety. So yeah, pretty interesting actually. But I have no wisdom for you right now, so we shall see what comes up as the day proceeds. Hopefully I'm funny if I don't have wisdom. Either way, if not, I'll be vulnerable, as always, because I'd rather consistently show up vulnerable than inconsistently show up invulnerable. Hells yeah, Stu. We're heading into work now. It's been a very slow morning, which is awesome. That is my ideal morning. The Sapiens book is very interesting. I think what I'm gonna do today, because it's not a very eventful day, I'm gonna do a book review today. I'd like to start some sort of a book club at some point in time. Part of why I bought those 3 books was because I subscribed to Chris Williamson's book review. So I think I'm gonna start something like that, because A, it's a great way to build an email list. B, I already have a full bookshelf worth of books, and they're all very impactful books. So I think I'm gonna do that today, and that will be the piece of value to today's vlog. I'm still a little brain dead today, so this way I can use somebody else's wisdom and then apply a little of my own wisdom. Okay, I gotta go train Haley. Happy Friday. Hi, Susie. Hi. Dealing with the goods. It's so funny. Jessica. Okay, so this is gonna be the first of many, ideally kind of weekly book synopsises. And the first book I have chosen, because it is one of my favorites, and it is actually my favorite author, Dr. Gabor Mate. And we're going to break down The Myth of Normal, because this is a phenomenal book. So this is the first book of his in over 10 years. Other books include When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress. We've also got In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, Close Encounters with Addiction. And I have his other book, which is called Scattered Minds, but that's currently lent out to a client of mine. It is The Origins of ADHD, and it is one of the most validating and fascinating books I've ever read, so I'd highly recommend that. So, in The Myth of Normal, it explores causes of illness, the myths around what makes us sick, and how dangerous our understanding of normal really is, and how we can move towards health and healing. Gabor discusses how normal has become the new way of teaching us to stifle our feelings, to hide how we are really feeling, and essentially be quiet and well behaved. He makes it very apparent throughout this book how common this practice has become, especially with women. One of the other very interesting topics that he breaks down in this book is the celebration of workaholism in today's present society and the demonization of addiction. The irony behind this is that both of these isms stem from the same core wounds. I actually remember reading this book last December and then going to Phoenix for a work conference, and it was actually crazy to had just finished that book and then see in a room of 500 fitness professional influencers, whatever you want to call them at this point, to actually see how accurate his statement was. And just to be able to recognize the amount of wounded individuals that were in that room who were very much chasing success and chasing the dollar to make themselves feel much more validated due to their own insecurities. So there's 3 quotes I'm going to leave you with from this book. Honestly, there's like 100 I could have chose. These 3 are just really impactful for me personally, and I think they resonate with the majority of people who may be watching this. Whether we realize it or not, it is our woundedness, or how we cope with it, that dictates much of our behavior. shapes our social habits, and informs our ways of thinking about the world. Whew. Next, children, especially highly sensitive children, can be wounded in multiple ways. By bad things happening, yes, but also by good things not happening, such as their emotional needs for attunement not being met. So part of why I wanted to bring this one up specifically was based off of my comment yesterday to any parents who may be following along in regards to their sensitive children, and just making sure that their kids understand that being sensitive is not a bad thing, and it's just something to be aware of as a parent. Lastly, and this one I think is just an interesting one, because with being more vulnerable online, I do see this come up quite frequently, and it's just a very toxic thing in general. It doesn't matter whether we can point to other people who seem more traumatized than we are, for there is no comparing suffering. Nor is it appropriate to use our own trauma as a way of placing ourselves above others, or as a cudgel to beat back others' legitimate grievances when we behave destructively. For the record, I had to Google how to pronounce cudgel, because I actually didn't know what it was. We each carry our wounds in our own way. There is neither sense nor value in gauging them against those of others. Those are some deep quotes. I think the thing that stands out the most with me with Dr. Gabor Mate is, this is very apparent in all of his writing, but it's his own vulnerability and his own struggles that he talks about. Throughout this book specifically, he discusses his own trauma and reactions to his trauma. So for those who don't know anything about Gabor, he was born in the Holocaust. His mom basically had to give him to, I believe it was neighbors or something like that, for about 6 weeks, because she was very concerned that they were going to get killed. So it was obviously a very traumatic start to his childhood, and he is very open about that. I find it very much helpful knowing that an expert in his position who's dealt with some of the worst things you could possibly deal with in regards to his own trauma, but also what he's seen working in the streets of Vancouver, with like some of the worst addictions you can possibly imagine. But it's very helpful. Even someone in his position can still fall into the traps that we fall into in this day and age, especially when it comes to social media, when it comes to just social validation, how we react and the behaviors that we use on a regular basis. Another really cool part about this book is that it also includes a self-inquiry exercise, which gives you questions to ask yourself on a weekly basis. So I'm gonna give you guys these 5 questions, and then I'm gonna wrap it up here. What am I not saying no to in my life's important areas? What do I miss out on due to my inability to assert myself? What bodily symptoms have I been overlooking? What is the hidden story behind my inability to say no? Where did I learn these stories? So he suggests that you do this almost as a weekly audit. And over time, especially if you're keeping this in a journal, something that you can bring to your therapist, psychologist, and you can potentially start piecing a lot of pieces together about why you do act the way that you do, why you don't say no enough, why you don't set boundaries, why you don't put things in place to keep yourself safe. So I hope you found that helpful. Again, I would highly recommend anything from Dr. Gabor Mate. He's a phenomenal writer, and he's the man. That's actually on my bucket list in the next 1 to 3 years, is to see him speak. So hopefully I can make that happen. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please use those questions to ask yourself. They're heavy questions, but I think they could provide a lot of value if you are struggling in any way, shape, or form right now. So yeah, hope you found that helpful. I have to go back to work now and train Melissa. So I will see you back at the gym. Hey, just got home from training Melissa. She's a hybrid client of mine. She's been slacking a little bit. That's okay. She got married this fall, and that's just what happens after people get married, so it's all right. But did a few kind of technical things with her. She was dealing with some wrist issues, so it wasn't a crazy intense workout. But yeah, it's a good day. Let me know what you guys thought of the Myth of Normal synopsis. I hope you enjoyed that. So if there's anything that you want me to go over, anything that you're curious about, I can definitely do that. I think that's going to be probably one weekly piece of content for me. Truthfully, it's kind of easy content. It's just something I got to do a little write-up for it, what my takeaways were from it, a couple impactful quotes from the books itself. And truthfully, it's just nice having something to kind of guide the content creation for one of the days, so it's not just me freestyling. So this way I get to still provide a bunch of value to anyone who hasn't read the book or doesn't want to read the book, but still wants some of the insight from the book itself. So let me know. I'm happy to continuously add to that bookshelf if you couldn't tell already. So yeah, Hi, puta. Yes, I called her puta. That's one of my nicknames for her. I have many. That's a wrap for today. It's about 7 o'clock here on a Friday night. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna have a burrito bowl right away. I also have some chickpeas in the air fryer, so shout out to everyone on training tomorrow morning, because I will be gassy. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all those things for the algorithm. I would sincerely appreciate it. If you've made it this far, I don't see why you can't hit the like button and or comment. Just put like a fire emoji. I don't give a shit. Put a book emoji. Just put something in the comments. It helps. Bye. We'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Stay safe. Much love. Go audit yourself and those questions that Gabor asked you. Gain a little insight on your life. Do it. Bye.